Welcome. If you've been wanting a book for your business, but you're not a writer by trade, you don't want to spend all this time figuring out how to write a book and organizing the content and putting all this stuff together, where do you have the time for that? Nor do you want to invest huge amounts of money into an expensive ghostwriter. So, what option is there for you? I want to present an alternative to help you to hit your goal of having a book or books for your business. And the reason I say that this is the better way to go in 2026 and beyond is because the way that we are marketing now, starting in 2025 and beyond, is we use a lot of content. Yes. Are you writing posts? Are you creating videos? Do you have emails that you're sending regularly? All these different pieces of content that you're creating to share, to explain things about your business. I'm going to show you a way that you can use those to get your book done. Let's make sure we're talking about the same thing. When I talk about having a book for your business, it's going to accomplish these goals. Its purpose of the book is to get people to understand and acknowledge your message, what you're about, how you serve, how you can show up and answer their questions, solve their problems. So that's what's going to help them to then get a result. If they understand how you can help and you present a method, a process, you walk them through something in your book, they can get a tangible result. If they get a tangible result from reading your book, what do? They get excited about you. They want to know more about you. Or they're like, how can I hire you for more? So that is where you become a value-based solution in the mind of the reader. And this is what's going to help people to work with you further, which is ultimately going to use your book to help you to grow your business. So this is my objective with your book. And if these are your goals for creating a book for your business, then we're in the right place. Like we are connecting. So let's keep going. I want to highlight first the traditional book model. So when you think book, think bookshelf. Like I have a bookshelf off to the side, or you go to the library, you go to the bookstore, you see all these books that sit on the shelf. They're made to look and to be thick so they can hold up and be on a shelf. The book length of an average nonfiction book that is published by leading traditional publishers is typically between 50,000 and 80,000 words. You're looking at between 100 to 250 pages on average, higher usually in the 200 range. Some books I've gotten are over 300 pages long. The thing is we are busy people. We don't have time to sit and read these books. I've gotten books. I've wanted to go through them and I still have them sitting on my shelf. I haven't been able to read the whole book because it's long. It's time consuming. So in this model, you sell one book one time with a really big marketing campaign. There's a big budget that goes into place. You're trying to get exposure because you need to get on the shelves of those bookstores. You can get a lot of press with this. You can get a lot of book sales off of that one book that you put so much effort into. And usually that's over a course of at least a year. And you're hoping that people are going to have enjoyed talking with you, hearing about the book, engaging with you during all this press, that they're going to take the time to read the book. But do people read long books? We have very short attention spans in this time and age. And so one of the things that you want to do is consider how you're actually creating that book. Now, if you can't tell, I'm setting you up to consider a better way. And that's the PowerBook method. The PowerBook method is shorter. It's concise. It's easy to digest. Instead of lengthy chapter after chapter pages over 200 pages long, consider that the PowerBook method is an ebook delivery. It's averaging about 50-ish pages, some a little less, some a little more. It includes powerful visuals. It includes breaks throughout the content to add in visuals, add in infographics, helpful pull quotes, and engagement prompts so people start to take action from your book. We're not here to add in any fluff. We're not here just to keep telling endless stories. We're not here to go on and on and on about every single thing that we do in our specialty or share all of our process. We're using one book at a time to go through a particular solution to a particular problem that your audience has. Clear and concise. This looks like one book focused on one topic. One book, one topic. Very clear, very concise. Imagine it being short enough that they could sit down and they could go through your whole entire book and start answering these questions, start taking action within an hour, maybe 2 hours tops. That's a complete change from the traditional model. Do you see that? But this works for us. I'm saying modern day human beings who have attention spans that they say are less than the 8-second goldfish. So what we want is we want to build engagement with our books. We don't want a book that just looks nice and sits on the shelf. We want a book that is in their hands that they can read right off their iPads and they can start to take action. We want to give them prompts and steps and questions that they can answer so that they read this, they walk away, and they have an action, because you want them to read it, consume it, and use it so that they get an action result. Because you don't want people just talking about you, but like, oh yeah, I got that book, but I never read it. Or, oh yeah, I got that book, it was a good book. Did you read that book? But did anything change in their lives? We know that there are oodles and oodles of books out there, great, amazing messages. And we will even share them and promote the book to people. But most people don't change their lives or change their business or change whatever because they don't actually put a lot of that into practice. One, they take in way too much information that they don't ever actually do the one thing that they should be doing. They're like, oh yeah, this, which one should I start with? Your book is going to be one point, and it's going to help them to take engagement right from the start on that one thing. This is you getting them to take the next step. If they take the next step, then they might inquire about your services. They might wonder what else you have to offer if you've been this helpful with guiding them this far. See how that works? You're going to build up momentum. You're going to build that know, like, and trust factor from them reading your book and getting to know you and seeing that what you've offered them, the solution you offered, actually works. That's what's going to build your credibility. That's what's going to build and strengthen the relationship that they feel that they have with you. Short, pointed books that get them where they need to go. That, friend, is what I call the PowerBook method. It's a powerful way to present a book for our modern era where we need concise and dedicated information quickly. So shorter length, concentrated focus. Here's an example from one of my mentors. This is Taylor Welch, and he's an exceptional business mentor. What you see here is one of his most recent books where he's talking about building the revolving price method. It's his way of talking about how you can earn income on a repeatable model month after month. He talks about it in a way that gives you the understanding, gives you application, and then that's it. Like, the book is over. Look at this. The book is only 44 pages in length. And there's even a couple of blank pages in there. And there's diagrams in there. There's information to help you to get it and then apply it. That's the whole point. Because the book is designed to get you into action. That's an example of the PowerBook method. And I've even had the opportunity to tell Taylor about my PowerBook method. And he was like, Stephanie, you are on the cutting edge of this trend. This is coming full stream. And it has. Since the time that I had the opportunity to talk with him, it's been well over a year. And it definitely, you're seeing these changes happening in the industry because we need to be able to reach people. Yes. We want that in our businesses. Yes. But we need to do it in a clearer, more concise way so that we actually get connection with them in the time that they're going to give us. And how this whole process works is obviously you can go through this entirely on your own. I have a SKOOL community. It's entirely free. Come in there, start to learn, start to explore the model. I have great free resources to start to teach you how the PowerBook method works and let you start to put it into action for yourself. You can visit me over on SKOOL. The community is called Your Book Done. And so you can come over there and get started for free. But what would it be like if we worked together? The best starting place is one, join into that community, but then two, get the book strategy. The book strategy is where I'm going to have my eyeballs on your content. And so I will find your book for you because that's the thing. A lot of people come to me and they're like, okay, this makes sense. I'm in, but where would I even start? I have 3 years of podcasts, or I have all these videos curated, or I have a course. Could you work with a course to create a book? And the answer to that is I can find the book for you. Doing my research and taking my expertise, I can find the book amongst your existing content. We start here so that you don't have to spend hours upon hours writing and developing your strength as a writer or getting a ghostwriter to extract this from you. You already have it probably in your content. So I identify what's going to work for your audience. I've got to understand your audience. I got to know what they're seeking, what questions they want answered. That's where the market research comes into play. Then, if you get the book strategy, you're going to walk away with 3 potential ideas, 3 custom book ideas based on your existing content. And we're going to tie those into your goals for your business. What direction do you want to actually grow your business in? Let's use the books to do that. I'm going to give you powerful titles. And so you have an idea of what it could sound like, what it could feel like to have this book. This is where it starts to come together, and including a description with that. And then you're going to have a clear action plan, because I have the PowerBook method already, those 8 steps that identify the PowerBook method you can find out more about inside the SKOOL community. However, you want to understand, where do you actually get started? This is what's going to help you to know where for you in your particular situation, where in your content do you dive in and do you start to work to develop out your first book. And I'm going to package all of that. You're going to have it in a Google Doc that you can go through and take and copy. But then I'm going to actually record a video of me explaining it to you, giving you the findings, and walking you through everything that you need to know to get started. Now, let me show you a quick sample. It's not the whole package, so don't think that this is it, that all that you would get, but it's just a sampling from a conversation that I had with a business owner who has a successful podcast, who's been sharing her ideas on her podcast. And so we had one conversation very briefly, and then I went and I looked and reviewed her podcast using the insights I got from just 7 episodes, not even her entire podcast. I found a book idea that meets her audience's needs. So let's take a look and show you this sample. Here's the audience overview. This is very short and very concise just for the sample. I want to always get into the mindset, the actual psychology behind the person. So I understand what your ideal customer is searching for, what their pain points are, what their struggles are. And so she is serving high-level executive assistants. So to put this bluntly, it is the person who's managing high-level managers, CEOs, top performers, and those people are busy. Those people do a lot, and they need help not just managing their work and keeping everything going, but they also need high executive functions in their life, getting all the things in their personal life and their professional life to run smoothly. This is a full service type of role. And so when you think about that type of executive assistant, they're high level, they're high touch, and it's high demand. There's a lot of pressure. They can fall into overwhelm by giving too much of themselves, always feeling like they're on call. They have so much responsibility that they could burn out. You see this? These are types of topics that she talks about in her podcast from her own personal experience being a high-level executive assistant and now coaching these high-level executive assistants. And so these are some of the core challenges that I've outlined. So this just gives you a quick overview. I would do an in-depth analysis on your brand, understanding who your audience is, and then what challenges they're facing, and tie this in to the goals that you have for your business. What goals do you have that we can make sure that we're pulling out what challenges your ideal audience is facing and answer those goals in the book. Now, here's one of the ideas that I came up with. Now, remember, with your book strategy, you're going to get 3 ideas all fleshed out for you. And I'm going to talk these through for you on a video. This is just a sample. Here's this potential title: Success Without Sacrifice for Executive Assistants. Very clearly identifying who this book is for. As a subtitle, Thriving in a Role That Demands Everything Without Giving All of Yourself. I love that because that clearly addresses those pain points that they had, the challenges that these high-level executive assistants face. Thriving in a role that demands everything without giving all of yourself. We're going to help them to overcome that burnout, avoid overwhelm. Yes? So here's a potential description. Think like if you're reading the back of an actual hardcover book, or you're reading the description on Amazon to buy a book, this is the kind of thing you would read. You're not just an assistant. You're the steady force that keeps a high-powered leader's entire life running smoothly. You're the anchor behind the scenes. Your role demands so much. The blurred lines between business and personal life, the constant pressure to anticipate every need, the expectation to absorb chaos, manage emotions, and deliver flawlessly. It's no wonder so many top-performing assistants feel stretched too thin, burned out, and unseen. This book is your roadmap out of that cycle. Drawing on years of experience in coaching assistants at the highest level, Success Without Sacrifice for Executive Assistants will show you how to shift from rescuer to guide, standing in your authority while still being indispensable. And that term, friend, is one that I pulled directly from her podcast. That's one of the key things about using your existing content is I can say things in your words. So it feels very much as though you wrote this book because you did. I'm pulling from your existing content. And then here are some other bullets that I go into as I'm describing that book. Are you starting to see how this really paints the picture for what your book could be? So imagine this for your business. I could create something like this. It's going to be more in depth and give you more robust information, but I could do this in a book strategy for your business. And now you would have a roadmap for where to get started, how to start curating and working through that content that you already have and turn it into a book. To reserve your book strategy, click the link and I'll talk to you soon.